Hello and welcome to the Business Spotlight interview series. I'm your host, Barrett McDonald, and I'm joined today by Amanda Rogers, CEO of iPlume Writing. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today. Would you like to get things kicked off with a little bit about yourself and what got you started on this entrepreneurial journey?
Sure. Thank you so much, Barrett, for having me. Um, Honestly, I wasn't expecting to start my own business, but it's actually not surprising that I did. I worked in the nonprofit sector for almost 20 years, mostly in senior level management roles such as director, executive director. Um, and then, once I decided to have a family, I expected, to return to my job after my year of maternity leave and do the whole hustle and bustle of being a working mom. But things took a different turn. I wasn't quite ready. Um, my baby wasn't quite ready. And we decided that it might be best if I stay home and have that special time with my kids. I mean, eventually I had a second child as well, and it just felt better to be home with them. However, we couldn't, like most Canadians, couldn't live on one household income, so I needed to supplement our household income. So I started kind of just freelance writing here and there in the evenings after my kids went to bed. Um, it was a busy life with a toddler and a newborn and being with them all day and giving them 100% of what I had and then putting them to bed and then staying up all night writing and editing, and it was a lot. But it's something that I did enjoy, and I just kept doing a little bit more and more of that. So I started that in about 2015. And 2016, I had a pretty profitable year. I mean, for just a sole proprietor, uh, self-employed. So I spoke with an accountant and they suggested that I incorporate. So I did. I incorporated in 2017. But everything was just still status quo. I just kept doing the same thing. Um, and in 2021, Canada Summer Jobs, um, as they do every year, they have wage subsidy grants for summer employees. And for businesses, they typically subsidize 50% of minimum wage. But in 2021, because of COVID and everything, they were actually supplementing 75% of a minimum wage subsidy for businesses. So I thought, here I was applying for all of these Canada Summer Job grants for all of my clients, and I realized, hey, I should probably I should probably apply for a staff member, see how this goes. And I did, and honestly, the rest is history. Just in 2 years, from hiring my first employee to now, we have, upwards, we have a couple of subcontractors, but upwards of 9, 10 team members across the country now. So we've grown a ton just in the past 2, almost 3 years now. So yeah, I started because I wanted to be, the stay-at-home mom and have all that time with my children. But now my children are in school and I'm able to ramp up more and work with my team. And we've grown significantly since definitely since I started. So,
Well, that's amazing. So, what would you say have been your biggest learnings as an employer since you began hiring employees back in 2021?
well, um, there was definitely some trials and tribulations there. Um, as you know, someone can have an excellent resume and cover letter and interview very well, and that helps. And that's definitely, what we're looking for. But really, what we're looking for is, someone who can write. So I guess after a few kind of interviews, we started to realize, okay, I think we need to kind of, do an assessment. So we would send a couple of kind of writing and editing assessments to our interviewees to see how they made out in kind of a real life scenario of the type of work that we would be giving them. So, I mean, I have to say, knock on wood, I've gotten very, very, very lucky with my team. The people that have come on have been absolutely brilliant. Everyone works together so well. I don't want to jinx anything, but everything has been, even just our growth, but also, our team and our working relationship has been very organic. And we've, I feel like maybe I've manifested that, I don't know, but um definitely in the beginning trying to find, other wage subsidies and things like that, just to help us kind of get ahead so that we could get to a place where I wouldn't need that. That was a huge help as well. We were partners and are partners with Teamwork Cooperative, and they've been incredible as well, helping us with various subsidies. Um, but now all my staff are fully paid by me. No more subsidies coming my way.
That's awesome. Well, that's a good success story. So, other than the technical aspects you're looking for when you're looking for employees, what are some of the other qualities you look for, and how do you foster that positive and productive work environment where people are spread out coast to coast to coast?
Well, that's kind of twofold. So I'll answer your second question first. We have regular team meetings, but be, everyone's working remotely. So they have to have some sort of like autonomy and independence and organization and flexibility. But it is kind like when you think of it about it, this wasn't, an option back in my day to work remotely. And I feel like it works really well with a lot of people. They appreciate, the autonomy and the independence, and as long as they get their tasks done by the deadline, there's absolutely no issues. And they always do. And no one's ever been late, knock on wood. But we use Google Suite, so we have a regular messaging service like Google Messaging, where we know the times of day that people are available, and we can connect with them right away. Google Docs and Google Sheets for shared communication on different documents we're working on. We also use Asana for project management. So everyone knows their role and when things are due and what the next step is. Um, but really, like, to answer that first part of your question, we really are a company of people who care. So, because I come from the nonprofit industry, I know what it's like to be overworked and underfunded, and just not having the time um, to apply for grants to help support the programs that we um, are very much needed in our communities. So I still have that mentality where and this is part of um, when I started my business, one of my goals was I really wanted to make sure I was still providing um, just that service to people, giving back, making sure that everyone had, an opportunity, at an affordable rate and so on to get more funding for programs, because I know what it's like. Um, so actually, we in 2022 we started a change program. So that's where we give certain nonprofits and charities a significant discount on our services, like over 60% discount. Um, you know, where we're able to give back and ensure that no, we're not on the we're not in the on the front lines and running the programs, but we are making a difference because we're ensuring that these organizations have the funding they need to continue those programs. And that was critical over COVID, because as you know, a lot of people had to shut their doors. Um, a lot of people weren't receiving the services and programs and support that they needed. So I hate to say this, but where everyone else was kind of shut down, for my business, it really ramped up because whatever
Right.
grants were available for COVID relief, we were just getting a ton of requests, and we wanted to make sure that our rates were affordable for them so that they could still continue their programs. And actually, just since then, since late 2021, we've secured over $20 million in funding for our clients, so that these programs can continue to grow and support underserved organizations, underrepresented groups. Um, so that was kind of a long-winded way of saying everyone on my team has that same passion for helping other people. A lot of people initially apply for our job openings because of the change program, because we are giving back. And I think, that really matters. So already we have a lot in common. Just we have a common goal, common belief, um, an understanding of how to connect with each other. Everyone is very independent and organized and on top of everything, probably more so than me. So, yeah, we all kind of share that same cultural workplace understanding, and it just works.
That's amazing. And would you attribute some of your growth to how you staff and some of the things you get involved in?
Absolutely. Our growth is 100% because of my team. And that's kind of where my eye opener was when I hired that first staff member in 2021. I realized, wow, I can I can do double the work. And honestly, all of our clients come to us through referrals or the repeat clients or through networks we're in. Um, so while we do have a marketing strategy, that's definitely not where the bulk of our clients come from. I have meetings all day, every day. Just in January alone, we have received over 20 new clients. So I do attribute our growth in sales and sophistication and just overall improvement as a company to my staff and to my team. Um, but also networks. Networks have been invaluable for us. Some of the programs that we've been involved in through WeBe Canada and Center for Women in Business, just making those connections with other entrepreneurs, other women-owned businesses, other local businesses, but also national businesses as well, has been yeah, it's been a real eye-opener that I'm kind of wish I started all of these networking opportunities years ago, but um definitely our networks and referrals and team that's what has attributed to our growth and success.
That's uh that's a great path that you've taken along the way and a lot of learnings along your journey, which is really good. So you kind of touched on it, but if you had to start all over again in business, what would you do differently the next time around?
You know, I've thought about this question several times. I want to say that I would have started all of these things sooner. I would have hired my first staff sooner. become a certified weebie sooner, started networking sooner. However, I'm actually happy and satisfied with the rate at which we grew, because if I started all of that sooner, then I wouldn't have had the time I needed to focus on my family and my children. I think it would have been too much all at once, especially in that haze of being a new mom that lasts for at least 5 years, by the way. um, I feel like I don't want to be cliche, but I really don't think I would have done anything differently. I think everything happened the way it happened when it was supposed to happen in order for me to be where I am now and to truly know where we're going. I think if I had have bitten off more than I could chew, 5 years ago, it would have ended up very differently. So I don't think I would have done anything differently.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Throughout the series, it's been, I wish I'd understood cash flow more. I wish I understood time more. So there's no wrong answer. It's whatever works for you. And that's what's good about it not being one size fits all. So what would you say are some of the common misconceptions about running a business, and what do you do to combat them?
I think, and maybe I only think this because of the service I provide, but I think people think, new entrepreneurs and business owners or aspiring entrepreneurs think they have to know how to do everything. They need to be experts in everything business related, from writing to graphic design and web development, um, to grant writing and RFPs. And I feel like that may deter people from actually starting their own business because they're like, well, I don't know anything about accounting or QuickBooks. How am I supposed to manage a business? But that's where networking comes in handy, and asking for help. Honestly, I'm a part of some incredible um, women-based networking groups, and they just want to help. Like, if you ask a question to the group, you have a number of replies saying, why don't we set up a meeting and I can walk you through this? And it's not even part of their service model. They're just helping, you know, they're just helping to support you in your growth. And I feel like that's invaluable. Because we don't have to know how to do everything. And that's where I try to help other business owners that don't know anything about grant writing or RFP writing. It's like, well, I can do that for you. Don't worry about it. We
Right.
got it. We're the experts there, so we can work with you and help you get this done. Um, and it is such a relief because I think as women, um, maybe, or as women in a as business women, who feel like we have to compete, with everyone else. We don't like to ask for help. We don't want to put anyone out. We don't want to, rock the boat and, oh, I should know this. And we're hard on ourselves and we beat ourselves up and we figure we should know this. Everyone else has got it together and knows everything. Why don't I? Um, but very quickly you realize that you're in a network, in a group of everyone else is in the same place, and we're all there to support each other. um so yeah, you don't have to know everything. There's a lot of people out there willing to help and provide the service to you to make your life easier.
So absolutely. One of the things that we discover at Action Coach is the most successful businesses surround themselves with people who know the things they don't know. And when you're building out your team, it's a key factor to think of things. So I
Yeah.
applaud your approach with everything. So thinking about yourself and your team, how do you balance your personal life and the demands of running your business, especially with a young family?
Well, I mean, it's not easy. It's never something that we achieve. It's always something we aspire to do. Um, sometimes one week I may feel very balanced and on top of everything and feel like, mother of the year and wife of the year and businesswoman of the year. And then the next week everything falls apart. I mean, it's a constant balancing act, and it's constantly something we aspire to do, and it isn't easy, especially when I had young children. They're 11 and 9 now, so they're a bit more independent. Well, at least my daughter is. But no, it's I can do that. The balance that I've been able to achieve is because of my team. um because everyone does have their niche area of expertise. um, you know, Certain tasks and projects are assigned to people who actually, will excel with that task. We know how to distribute things appropriately. Um, I mean, in my business, it could be extremely busy for 3 months, and then 1 month it's not busy. It's just being able to kind of find that balance. One thing that I started to do for the most part, because of my team and everyone's support and willingness to work together and be super organized, is being able to turn off my laptop on Friday afternoon and open it up again Monday morning. So that I can so weekends are family time and evenings are family time. I may I may, close my laptop around, when the kids get home from school, and then reopen it after they go to bed. But for the most part, I have been able to find the balance, and it's just being keenly organized and relying on your team and not micromanaging, because that will never give you balance.
No.
Just putting your trust in the team will make a massive difference.
Absolutely. It's come through loud and clear over some of these interviews that being purposeful with your calendar is the way to be, and put your personal stuff in your calendar. And when it says turn off your
Yeah.
laptop and enjoy the fruits of your labor and the effort you're putting forth. So it's a good way of approaching it. I applaud that. So last question off script from the one that I kind of sent you is for those that might be watching that are hesitant or thinking about starting their own business, what little bit of advice would you give them?
Honestly, just do it. You have nothing to lose. Like, you can start at, like, if you have a great idea and you're filling a gap in the services out there, I say go for it. So, for example, we kind of started a bit with the whole, like, we write and edit anything. And we do. But if you really find that niche, such as grant writing for us, or RFP navigation and writing and submission, that's where you're going to get the most clients. If you're offering more of a general service, it may be a bit slower. But honestly, I mean, it really doesn't cost much to incorporate. I say putting yourself out there, having a clear strategy and business plan. That's always good to start with. And there's nothing that says you have to be, you know, a six-figure, seven-figure company in the first year. Like, it's all about just starting. Because there have been a lot of companies that started, especially over COVID. And if you can offer a niche service um, that very few others can, I say do it, because there's only one way to go, and it's up.
Absolutely. Well, that's some pretty sound advice from a well-rounded individual, in my opinion. So, Amanda, I thank you so much for your time today. And to those of you who are watching at home, look forward to seeing you on our next episode.
Thank you so much, Barrett.